So Wibble also has the ability to define note relationships. Basically, a note can be, or node can be associated with other notes or nodes with a defined relationship, either that of a parent to a child, or nodes can be defined as siblings of each other's. Now, I'll do another video showing the effect of this in the GUI viewer. Essentially, when you create or when you define note relationships, the effect that has is that in the GUI, when you view those notes with those defined relationships, in the kind of top section, it will actually list those related notes under the corresponding parent or child or sibling column. So that's the first thing. So it allows you to rapidly access, click between and navigate between sets of related nodes. So that's the first aspect. The second aspect is if you view the graph of all the notes or nodes, the relationships obviously end up defining a set of edges, so they're no longer isolated points. They actually now, the nodes have edges, and those edges are the relationships. I may well add a bit more sophistication in the graph to come with kind of different colored edges or different types of arrows or something like that. We'll see. But for now, purely in terms of the CLI tool, yes, you can define these relationships. Now, conceptually, you might be wondering, well, what exactly is the relationship? It's really just a way of saying, for example, let's say you had a parent note, let's say a topic note or something. You could have something like, let's say your topic note was Linux, just to kind of use a geeky kind of example. So Linux might be your topic note, and then you might have child notes such as software notes, hardware notes, game notes, for example, and then each one of those notes in turn could have a set of child notes. So the software note might have a category basically pointing down to say editors, graphics tools. You get the idea. So basically you can define hierarchies of notes, and then you can just use this to basically add a kind of layer of metadata that allows you to relate given notes together based on whatever relationship you want. So let's have a look here. So again, Wibble helps us to remind ourselves what the commands are, and really the two we're interested in are associate, which is the command we use for creating the relationship, and the related notes command here for actually displaying the any relationships that happen to be defined on a note. So I've gone ahead and created a few trivial kind of example notes just so we have something to demonstrate this with. So if I do the usual showing of everything, we can see we have here a personal projects meta note, which we'll call the kind of parent or the topic note, and then 3 personal project notes, project A, project B, and project C. So let's go ahead and define some relationships here. So we can do Wibble search, associate would be the long command, but let's do the short one for a change, which is the caret symbol. Title, so we're going to define the relationship, this time from the perspective of the personal projects meta note. So because let's just put personal projects meta just to guarantee we hit that one. So it asks us, do we want to associate this note? So this is the source, yes. Now we need to use the menu search to define our target note. So I'm just going to go by, I'm going to use the tags actually. So let's find project A. So if I do project A, and now it's asking me, so it's found that one unique personal project A, whatever that is. It would be something meaningful to you. So what is the relationship that the original note, the source, has to this note? So what is the relationship that the meta note has to this note? Well, the meta note is the parent of this note. So we just use P here, and it's defined that relationship. So let's go ahead and add another relationship for the same meta note. So I'm going to associate it again, but this time I'm going to go with project B, unsurprisingly. And again, this is the parent of project B. One final time. Again, I use the tag search project C. So obviously you can search by any of these fields depending on however you need to filter and identify the singular candidate. And again, this is the parent of. So at this point we've defined this meta node as the parent of these three personal project A, B and C nodes. So what we should be able to do now, if I do the related command, so I can either type related as a long one, but I'm going to do the short one again, R, this should, as you can see, it's brought up the three here, and it says it's the parent of, and it has the three node IDs, and then it demonstrates the metadata for those. So we know that this personal projects meta node, or topic node, we have defined it as being the parent of project A, project B and project C. So it's really as simple as that. Now what we could do, for example, would be to say that project A and project B are sibling nodes. We might want a relationship that defines that. So what we can do here is, again, we'll bring up this one, but I'm going to type the long command just for a change. Associate. We'll do, let's say, personal project A. Do we want to associate this? Yes. Let's say personal project B. So I'm using the title this time. This is the target node. So how is A related to B? How is personal project A related to personal project B? I'm going to say it's S, the sibling of, and we defined a sibling relationship. Again, now if I demonstrate that relationship, we should see there are two relationships here, which is what we would expect. So project A is the sibling of EB911, which is project B, but we also know it is the child of the personal project's meta node, because we define that as the parent. So basically, if you define a node as a parent of another, then that converse node is obviously the child, and vice versa. And meanwhile, a sibling is always a sibling in relation to the other sibling. So parents and child, siblings, you can use the associate command to associate and the related command to display them, and there's obviously the long and the short form of the command line argument. So that's how you relate notes together. Quite useful, and also handy if you are using the GUI viewer, because then you get nicely rendered kind of edges, and the notes themselves will have immediate hyperlinks through to the related notes. So this is a great way of creating a network of related notes for aggregating information in your wiki system.